The room is relationships. The room is you and me and everyone in America.
What are you talking about?
The room is different cookie cutter from Hollywood.
Yeah, man, you never know. People are very strange these days.
What's going on?
Welcome to The Room Minute,
The podcast where we get obsessed with the cinematic classic The Room.
1 minute at a time.
You have no idea what kind of trouble you're in here, do you?
Why are you so hysterical?
We always wanted people actually talk about it.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Allison.
Oh, hi, Rob.
Oh, hi, listeners. We're here to talk about minute 94 of The Room, in which it turns out that Johnny's last name is Chekhov. Okay, good. Someone got it. Before we get into this scene, the suicide was originally filmed downstairs. The bedroom did not exist. They even had a really bad squib effect for it, for the blood, but it didn't go very well. It just looked like ketchup got thrown at the fireplace. After seeing the footage, Tommy decided to redo the scene in the bedroom, which was news to Greg Sestero because there wasn't a bedroom. The next day, they had a bedroom set, and they started filming scenes up there, starting with Mark and Lisa having sex for the second time. We left off, let's see, Johnny was on the floor, sitting on all the clothes and sheets and stuff, and he starts this minute by reaching for a little wood chest, which is already open, unfortunately, so he has to close it before he opens it. And inside is Chris R's gun from I forgot to write down what minute that was. It's, 40 minutes ago now in the movie, I think? 50?
But it's been on all our minds since then.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, I've been thinking about nothing but that gun. Like, what happened to the gun? I mean, clearly they didn't take him to the cops because it was too fast. Johnny just ate him. Then Johnny says, why?
Why is this happening to me?
Why? It's over. Which he's slightly wrong. There's still a few minutes left. Then he says, God forgive me. We get a close-up. We get a flashback to Lisa from half the movie ago, minute 47, going up the stairs. Right after the tearing me apart Lisa line. She says, everything will be all right. Which, irony, of course, because we cut back to Johnny with a gun in his mouth. Oh no. And an extreme close-up on the gun, we can see it is an airstrike pistol, so Johnny will be, he'll still injure himself, I'm pretty sure. If you shoot one of those in your mouth, it's gonna hurt. Mm-hmm. But he might survive, so good news.
Is that good news?
Yeah, sequel.
I mean, yes, good news.
Oh, hi, Sean, by the way.
Oh, hi, Rob.
And
hi,
then we get back to Lisa saying good night, Johnny. And then we come back to good night, Johnny, as, he gets an extreme close-up, pulls the trigger, and shoots himself. The tragedy is enacted, finally. And I think we get a sound effect before he completely pulls the trigger, but I'm not sure. It's hard to tell, because the edit jumps to a medium shot for him to fall backward all dramatically.
Yeah, and we get to see his face after it, but his face is surprisingly well kept together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he even wanted the makeup person to put a little blood by his mouth, and they're like, if we're going to show your mouth, we need to do more than that, because this gun's going to do some damage.
Yeah.
But they didn't want it to be graphic.
Yeah, the only scenes that are graphic are the sex.
Exactly. And we fade to black after he falls, and it could be over. But no, it comes back. Fades in on the bedroom, a new angle. And I would note that the dresser is not in the condition Johnny left it. Different drawers are removed, and all the drawers seem to be empty. And then Mark and Lisa step off of the fake stairs. Yay! Come to the rescue. Yeah, it's a really dramatic scene, We get close on Johnny. Mark, I think, tries to check his pulse. I'm not sure. Says, wake up, Johnny. Come on. Despite the puddle of blood all over behind him, we get a great shot of Johnny laying there with his arms out. I said his last name was Chekhov at the beginning, because Chekhov's gun. But also that means his initials are JC, which will come up more on Wednesday. But here we get the JC shot of him laying there with his arms out.
Yeah, that's funny because I didn't make the JC connection, but the way he says, God forgive me, made me think of Jesus at the end of Jesus Christ Superstar.
God, forgive them. They don't know what they are doing.
Which I realized at that point, Jesus doesn't say, he isn't saying forgive me, he's saying forgive them.
Yeah.
So it's not the same line, but I did think of it. I thought of a different line.
We'll just have to overdub it so it says, God forgive them.
Yes, yeah.
Lisa doesn't understand blood, apparently. She's like, is he dead? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
There's a gun there, and there's a puddle of blood under his head. And then, my God, Mark, is he dead? See, and then we get explicitly, she's asking Mark if her God is dead. See? My God, Mark, is he dead? She means Johnny. She gets it. And then we get a nice shot of Lisa holding Johnny's hand, and the camera rises. We get a close-up on Johnny with Mark's hand by his head, and that's the end of this minute. But more importantly, Sean, you watched the movie finally, right?
Yeah. I've seen this film from beginning to end, and it's not good.
What?
I don't know if you know this. This is not a good movie.
What do you mean? This is masterful stuff right here with the Jesus allegory.
Best movie I've ever seen.
It's interesting, and if this was from a younger first-time filmmaker, I might think this is from someone with some promise.
Are you suggesting that Tommy Wiseau is old?
Yeah.
No. I suggest no such thing, Tommy. That Rob said it, I didn't. Leave me out of it.
Because at the time this was made, he was still claiming to be in his 30s, I believe. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I was thinking more like a student film or someone like fresh out of film school. You know, this could be, you know.
What
like
if this was made by someone who never went to film school? Then is it impressive?
You know, I guess so, because it is. I mean, it is a film. It is. Yeah. It's feature length.
Mm-hmm.
It's over 90 minutes, a little bit over.
Yep.
And there's lighting. There's dialogue. There are actors.
You can usually see things clearly.
Yeah. So it was made.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. So that's something to be said for that. I think, and I think you've mentioned this at some point during the podcast, Robert. Like, there's a story here. Like, this should be remade, maybe by Tommy himself, maybe with a little bit more filmmaking experience under his belt. Like, this could be a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but it isn't. It could be, but it isn't.
Right?
Not yet. Maybe it will be someday, but not. But today's not that day.
No, today is not that day.
Today is not that day. Yeah, I think the main thing that stuck out for me, having watched the film, the entire film from beginning to end, is every sex scene between Johnny and Lisa is followed by a scene of Lisa and Claudette.
Yes.
I don't know why. I don't know what that means. I just thought that was.
I thought you were going to go somewhere.
Yeah, no, I don't know where that's going. I just thought that was weird. Well, and I guess it ties in because Claudette is really Johnny's number one fan. Like, she's, well, maybe not a fan of Johnny directly, but certainly a fan of the relationship. She thinks Lisa should stay with Johnny.
Yeah.
And should marry Johnny.
Right.
And it seems like, and Johnny does seem like, and particularly talking about the relationship between those scenes, the sex scene followed by Lisa and Claudette talking, like, Johnny seems like at least a decent lover.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not violent.
And he hit me.
He hit you?
He's not demeaning Lisa. I don't know how much pleasure she derives, but he seems to be, just from outward appearance, to be decent at least and caring, followed up by scenes where Lisa's like, yeah, I don't know about this. I think I'm going to dump this guy. And Claudette's like, but that banging he just gave you, you know?
See, so you understand why those scenes exist.
Yeah.
And you said the movie wasn't good. Wow.
Yeah,
That's storytelling, Sean.
It's storytelling.
Show us the good, and then be like, but she still wants out. Why? And we have the mother there to ask.
Yeah, why? He has money.
Mm-hmm.
Marry him.
Mm-hmm. It's not just the okay sex, it's also the money.
Well, yeah, and obviously a relationship has many facets, and it's not just about the physical. Though Lisa does say, like, I don't have the exact quote, basically, like, Johnny can't give her the life she wants.
Everything's changed. I need more from life than what Johnny can give me. Suddenly my eyes are wide open and I can see everything so clearly. I want it all.
But I have the feeling that's not just, like, my first thought, that kind of statement, I would think that's like the lifestyle you're expecting and sort of a monetary or a physical possession type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he doesn't get the promotion, I don't think it's just about the money. Because even without the promotion, he is a professional. I think he can pay the rent and there's food on the table, a roof over their heads, like he would be able to provide as a husband. But I don't know if we get more specifics than that in terms of what is she talking about? What is the life she wants that Johnny can't provide other than someone she loves? And she doesn't, at this point in the relationship, she no longer feels love for Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got this 7-year itch and wants out.
Yeah. And it just happens. It's not about the money or the sex or anything. Just, it's not him, it's her. It's not you, it's me. There's probably nothing Johnny could have done. Maybe other than marry her sooner before she realizes she doesn't love him anymore.
That was the problem, waiting until June. It wasn't good. May didn't go well.
Yeah. See, that's a lesson. If you put something off, it may not be there when you're ready.
Well, and as Tommy told Denny, don't plan too much. It may not turn out right.
Denny, don't plan too much. It may not come out right.
He depended too much on his plans for the wedding. Mm-hmm. And missed that he was losing his future wife.
Yeah. So is this the same tie that Johnny's been wearing throughout the whole film?
No, I actually double-checked to see if this was the tie that she tied around her head when they got drunk, but it is not. Mm-hmm. That was a darker one. Okay. So he has at least 2. I didn't check how many he actually has, because I think he only has 1 suit, so I don't want to go just look at every time he's wearing a suit, because that's always, except when he's running.
Yeah, he's always wearing a tie, but it's always slightly loosened.
Well, the beginning of this minute is really loose. The small part is 1 inch long, and the tie is down in his lap.
At that point, just take the tie off.
Right, exactly.
Got it. We have to know he's a professional.
Mm-hmm. And it gets tighter after he's thinking about Lisa. See, it's symbolic too. More of that filmmaking that you say isn't there. Brilliant stuff is what it is, Sean.
Sure.
Notes from a midnight screening for this minute.
Notes from a midnight screening.
Starting from as soon as he picks up that gun, people are screaming, no, don't do it, and everything else. But then when he pulls the trigger, you throw whatever spoons you have left. All the spoons in the air at once. It's chaos. And when Mark runs in, say, it's okay. I know a doctor on Guerrero Street. They're going to take care of him.
I will say I was pleasantly surprised based on having previously seen, before watching this film from beginning to end and watching these minutes, I had seen The Disaster Artist.
Oh, right, yeah.
And the way they portray the filming of this scene, and particularly this minute, I expected it to be, I guess, much worse, much cheesier. And then it isn't. No, it's, at least that part of the minute is pretty straightforward and pretty well done in terms of how are you going to, without being too graphic and showing too much of the viscera, how do you depict someone shooting themselves in the head like that? And, it was a good minute.
Now, on set, they would yell bang to try to time so he knew when to pull the trigger and fall backward, and he mistimed it every time. Mm-hmm. But post-production audio, they can time that better, so it works out fine.
Yeah. Well, I think they cut away, so as you said, there's a close-up on the gun, and the fingers tightening.
Yeah.
I don't think we see the actual pull of the trigger. I think then they cut away,
past it,
so we don't know.
I think once they were upstairs in the bedroom set, or not really upstairs, but in the bedroom set, they weren't trying for a squib for the blood, and so then the timing didn't really matter. It's just get the edit, get the shots you need.
Right.
Downstairs, they were trying to time a squib with him pulling the trigger and him falling down, and it wasn't going well.
Comment on the film as a whole. Obviously, they did not go with the Denny is a serial killer plot that I thought.
Right.
Where the film was going.
Yeah.
Which still kind of would work out for this minute if Johnny discovers Denny's been killing people throughout the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then he's worried because Denny's sort of his ward, the Robin to his Batman, and he's been paying his tuition, or he's been thinking he's been paying tuition, but really Denny dropped out of school years ago and has just been using the tuition money for, shovels and lye and everything, and to dispose of bodies. And now Johnny thinks he's going to get pinned. Now he's a suspect because of his proximity to Denny.
When if Denny really likes to kill, that explains why he wants them out of the room, just in case there's a little bit of life left in Johnny. Get out of here so I can finish him off.
A re-edit.
But we'll get to that. That didn't happen this minute. We're not there yet.
That's a later minute. We're getting ahead of ourselves there. But yeah, so there you go.
So Sean, where can the listeners hear more from you?
You can hear more from me on a Next Scene podcast, which I do with my brother Brian, and we cover pop culture one scene at a time. That is at nextscenepod.com and nextscenepod on the social medias.
So there's nothing wrong when people make fun of the project, in this case, The Room.
The Room Minute is a production of Lemming Drops Studio. You can find more content at lemmingdrops.com.
Follow The Room Minute on all the obvious social media. If you've got any stupid comments after the show,
You can leave them in your pocket on Facebook. If you like what you hear, throw us a rating and a review on your podcatcher of choice. Thank you for listening, and remember, if a lot of people loved each other, the world would be a better place to live.
Leave us!